Hello everybody, this is Adrian with Guns for Everyone, and today we're going to talk about the British Personal Load Carrying Equipment System, or as it's commonly referred to, the PLCE. This system is very similar to the LS suspension system, but the harness is different. It is considered an H harness, and there are 4 straps at the back instead of a Y harness, and 2 straps at the front. It comes with 2 double mag pouches, and in the rear an admin pouch and a canteen pouch. The first thing we're going to look at is the belt and the attachment system that the belt uses. So let me get this open up. It's a typical belt buckle just like you find in the Alice suspension system. But the belt is a little bit different. So let's take a closer look at this. This is the double magazine pouch. Across the entire length of the belt are these little slots. On each pouch, you're going to find a piece of plastic that fits into these slots. This is what locks the whatever pouch that you're going to use into that position. It keeps it from sliding around. This was a common complaint on the Alice suspension system. So by adding these tabs onto each pouch, it'll prevent them from sliding around on the belt when you're wearing it. Another interesting feature is on the button. It's not a typical button that you use directly to press in. There's a lip in there. That lip has to be rocked in because it cannot be pressed directly in. So you have to put one side in first, and I did it a little bit off camera, but you push one side in and then you rock it into place and it locks. You'll hear it snap in. The front side of the pouch has something called a Spanish tab. Now this is a unique locking system you don't normally find on the American gear, but it works pretty good. Inside each pouch there's a Velcro cover, so that way you don't have to use the Velcro. And there are a couple of ways to use the Spanish tabs. So the first way is you put the short end, it locks it in place, and it's quick open. The next one is you're going to use the long tab. You're going to go underneath, and this is going to lock your magazine pouch in place. There's no way to accidentally open it. Both of these magazine pouches hold 3 Stanag magazines. So this is going to be your traditional aluminum magazine. It holds 3 of them very well. With PMags, the fit is a little bit tight and you can only get 2 in there. You can fit 3 in there if you overlap the base plates, but you also need to remove the magazines in a certain order if you do manage to put 3 of them in there. 2 of them fit comfortably, but with the Stanag magazines, they're the standard aluminum, 3 in there fit perfectly. Using 2 sets of these double magazine pouches, you can hold 12 magazines. So we have 3, 6, on the other side, 9, and 12. Moving over to the bayonet frog, I have found that the K-Bar Kydex sheath, the one that's sold directly by K-Bar, fits in there perfectly. It's nice and snug. When you pull the knife out, the sheath will not come out with it. It'll remain in the frog. But it is also easily removable, as I showed right here. It's very important to note that a knife will not fit in there. It is extremely loose, and you'll risk losing your knife and cutting open the frog and destroying it. So you want to make sure that it's actually in a sheath before you insert it into the frog. So you can see it's a nice snug fit. Holds in there just fine. If you feel like it needs to be extra secure, you can go ahead and wrap some duct tape around it. Or like I want to do, those little slots. I am actually going to modify this frog and sew it directly into it so that way it cannot be removed, essentially making this a permanent sheath for the K-Bar. As I mentioned earlier, you can remove the knife from the sheath and it will not pull the sheath out with the knife. So it is going to be in there secure. Moving to the back of the carrier, there are 2 pouches that look very similar to one another. One is a canteen pouch and one is a utility pouch. Easiest way to tell the difference is when you open it up, one will say utility pouch. Just like the magazine pouches, the utility pouch and the canteen pouch have the same features. So you're going to have a Velcro cover on the inside and the Spanish tabs on the outside. The canteen pouch is very similar to the utility pouch with just some minor differences. So let's get this open. It also has the Velcro cover. Inside the canteen pouch, I do have a British surplus military canteen, which I will go over in a few moments. There are a couple of differences between the utility and canteen pouch, namely the canteen pouch will say canteen pouch, Like our US canteens, there is a canteen cup that is included, but this one is made of plastic. The canteen also has a wide mouth open, which I prefer over the smaller mouth opening that is in the USGI canteens. I found the canteen cup and canteen at a local surplus store. They are actual British military surplus from the 80s and 90s. The canteen cup goes over the top of the canteen, unlike the USGI ones, which go over the bottom. It is also kidney shaped. Another feature of the canteen pouch versus the utility pouch is there's a second smaller pocket in there. From what I've read, that's for the water purification tablets. Just like the USGI canteens, the concave portion of the canteen faces inwards towards the body. There is one part of the suspension system that I am missing. It is the butt pack. I am missing one pouch. It's the butt pack pouch. It's just a small sustainment pouch that would go in the back here that you would put your wet weather gear in or any other gear that you need when you're going on a short range patrol. And this concludes my short overview of the British PLCE system. There's many advantages to using this over the Alice suspension system, but if you have any comments or experience with the PLCE system, be sure to let me know. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.